And unfortunately, I am with the majority here who thought that it wasn't the greatest game. Like, there wasn't that much effort that was shown on the court. This WNBA All-Star Weekend was my first in person. I felt like the players were so excited and happy to be there. They just didn't put that much effort on the court. And I also have to admit that I left during the third quarter. I just kind of couldn't take it anymore.
An abomination to the sport.
Kelsey Plum may have just stirred up a storm in the WNBA All-Star Game, all with one sharp remark. During what was meant to be a press conference focused on unity among players, Plum took a direct shot at Caitlin Clark and her team, criticizing them for missing an important meeting. But her timing couldn't have been worse. Sitting right beside her was Sabrina Ionescu, one of Clark's strongest supporters. The look on Sabrina's face said it all. Her immediate response went viral and peeled back the curtain on a deeper conflict within the league. What's emerging isn't just tension. It's a full-blown internal divide, powered by envy and personal agendas, threatening to derail the WNBA just when it's beginning to thrive.
We didn't, at least as players, we didn't know that was going to happen. So I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front was determined this morning. That we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that.
The All-Star Game opened with a powerful image of unity. WNBA players stepped onto the court dressed in striking black shirts that carried a bold message: "Pay us what you owe us." The display was intentional, a symbolic show of strength and solidarity as contract negotiations loomed over the league. But beneath the carefully crafted image, cracks were already forming. That sense of togetherness was more appearance than reality, and it was about to unravel in front of the entire world.
Kelsey Plum was at the All-Star Game in Indianapolis. She made quite a scene, bruh. This time, at the conclusion of the game, I was one of the first people to break the story about her actually making comments about Caitlin Clark's team not being at this meeting for the CBA negotiations. Now, we know the WNBA All-Stars came out with these t-shirts, "Pay us what you owe us."
At the post-game press conference, Kelsey Plum of the Las Vegas Aces took center stage and quickly shifted the entire conversation. After a quick mention of the earlier meeting where the t-shirt protest had taken shape, she dropped a bombshell. With a knowing grin, she leaned into the MIC and said, "Not to snitch or anything, but none of Team Clark showed up for that." The energy in the room changed instantly. This wasn't just subtle shade. It was a pointed, deliberate jab aimed at Caitlin Clark and her squad, suggesting they were disengaged from a movement meant to benefit all players.
Eka Agumike, Women's National Basketball Players Association President. Brianna Stewart, Vice President. And Nafisa Collier. All on opposing teams from Team Clark. How does it work out that the 3 biggest players in the Players Association had an idea about wearing a "Pay Us What You Owe Us" t-shirt, make this decision last minute that this is what the players will do? Team Clark somehow isn't present in the meeting that this will take place.
What made the comment even more jaw-dropping was who happened to be sitting just inches from Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, a key member of Team Clark and one of Caitlin's most outspoken defenders. This wasn't just a shot at someone who wasn't there. It was fired directly in front of one of her closest allies. Ionescu's reaction was immediate and unforgettable. Her face showed raw disbelief as she threw a sharp glance Plum's way, then followed it with an eye roll so full of frustration and contempt, it instantly went viral.
I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just we had a very that really needed to be mentioned. I'm trying to make a situation light.
As Plum nervously chuckled, trying to smooth over the awkwardness she just created, Ionescu calmly leaned into her MIC. She didn't raise her voice or argue. Instead, she delivered a razor-sharp, sarcastic retort that cut deeper than any shout ever could. The atmosphere was electric with tension. In that one cool, calculated moment, Ionescu didn't just stand up for her teammate. she effortlessly called out the true nature of Plum's remarks: petty, divisive, and completely out of place.
WNBA players, they get more unlikable every day. And the blatant jealousy, the blatant hatred towards Caitlin Clark is, I mean, it's obvious. They don't even try to hide it. We got Kelsey Plum talking about these pathetic shirts that they wore out onto the court. And I'm going to tell you, these players all put these shirts on. And like I said in a couple of previous videos, that backfired.
To grasp why Plum's comment wasn't just petty, but a serious misstep, you only have to look at the numbers. The WNBA is still a business at its core, and no player has moved the needle financially like Caitlin Clark. The moment it was announced that Clark would miss the All-Star game due to a groin injury, the event's market value took a nosedive. The financial impact was immediate, and the data backing it up is both clear and harsh.
Caitlin Clark, she was officially ruled out before all of these things. And look at the news that dropped. This is wild. WNBA All-Star Weekend. It's supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
Before the announcement, the average ticket to the All-Star Game was going for around $121. But within just 24 hours of Caitlin Clark being ruled out, prices dropped sharply to about $64. That's a jaw-dropping 48% decline, practically overnight. This wasn't just a small dip. It was a major financial hit sparked by the absence of one player. The message from fans couldn't have been louder. Without Caitlin Clark, the All-Star Game lost much of its appeal.
Well, would you look at that? Prices for the WNBA All-Star Game have plummeted 49% after Caitlin Clark was ruled out due to injury, per TickPick. I can't say that I'm surprised by this at all. I mean, no matter how much you love her or hate her, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. When she goes, the ratings go. Simply put.
The financial fallout didn't end with ticket sales. Television ratings revealed an even more striking truth about Caitlin Clark's overwhelming influence on the league's success. Nationally broadcast WNBA games without Clark experience a staggering 55% drop in viewership. Her own team, the Indiana Fever, sees its audience slashed in half when she's not on the floor, falling from an impressive 1.81 million viewers to just 847,000. These aren't just numbers. They're undeniable evidence that, right now, Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's economic engine.
And latest being this viral Kelsey Plum dig, if you will. And I was in the room for this. It did strike me as very odd in the moment when she said what she said. I wrote it off as kind of awkward, but let me play it for you again, and then I'll respond after the fact. This is what Kelsey Plum said about the t-shirts, and you can, Sabrina Ionescu's reaction kind of said it.
In sharp contrast, Caitlin Clark's return game against the New York Liberty drew 2.2 million viewers, with peak viewership reaching an incredible 2.8 million. She's not just another athlete, she's a media powerhouse all on her own. The real tension lies in the fact that some of her fellow players appear to resent the spotlight she commands, even as they benefit from the massive attention and revenue she brings to the league. That simmering conflict now stands as one of the biggest threats to the WNBA's future.
And guess who had to pull up to the Nike party? None other than Sabrina Ionescu. None other than Kelsey Plum. My bad, y'all. None other than Kelsey Plum, bruh. Caitlin Clark commented on her picture. Thank you for the Nike ad. What a weekend.
Caitlin Clark could have easily let the slight slide. She could have allowed Ionescu's bold public response to speak on her behalf. But she chose a different path. Instead, Clark waited, calmly and deliberately, for just the right moment to deliver her own calculated response, one that felt like a strategic checkmate.
He lost money last year. It's lost money for what, 28 years now, 27 years, 26 years, however long, it ain't never turned a profit. Again, they're about to make more money. They are. The media rights deal, which is where all the money is about to push salaries higher. All right? I think what a lot of people really are sick of is they're sick of the activism part of it, which is what the other night was. Let's go out and show solidarity in protest kind of crap. And sports fans are like, oh, I'm here for the freaking All-Star game, if you want to call it that.
Just days after the All-Star game, Kelsey Plum shared a photo dump from the weekend on Instagram. One image stood out. Plum, a well-known face of Under Armour, was striking a pose directly in front of a massive Nike logo. That's when Caitlin Clark made her move. She dropped a 6-word comment that quietly lit the internet on fire. Thanks for the free Nike ad. It was a masterclass in passive-aggressive wit. To casual viewers, it might have seemed like a playful jab, but to those paying attention, it exposed the irony. Plum had taken aim at Clark, while unknowingly giving free publicity to the very brand that backs her. It was a quiet, calculated blow that showed just how far ahead Clark is when it comes to strategic finesse, and how effortlessly she rises above the noise.
What Kelsey Plum said, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and that she was attempting to have some trash talk there. She had taken a shot at Team Caitlin Clark and how much better Team Collier was earlier in the game, and not associate that directly with Caitlin Clark. One, because of, the delivery and the awkwardness involved there, and her saying she's trying to lighten the mood. So I think that's what that was supposed to be, but it was completely unnecessary. Didn't need to be said. And certainly, putting it out there publicly doesn't help anyone.
What happened at that press conference wasn't just a one-off moment. It reflected a deeper, unspoken rift simmering inside the WNBA. A troubling trend has emerged. Some veteran players appear more focused on undermining Caitlin Clark than acknowledging the unprecedented impact she's had. Clark has brought an explosion of attention, packed arenas, and a surge of revenue to a league that has long fought for mainstream traction. Yet instead of embracing the momentum, certain players seem intent on downplaying her role. The irony is hard to ignore. These are the same athletes pushing for better pay and improved conditions under the rallying cry, "Pay us what you owe us," while throwing shade at the one person who's actually making those goals financially viable. It's as if they're criticizing the golden goose while asking for more golden eggs, completely missing the fact that their resentment is doing real damage to the very progress they've been fighting for.
For the people who don't believe in the CC effect, my precious CC, y'all ticket sales went from $262 to $121 to $64 to get in at the door. That is horrible. It decreased by 48%. You hear me? That is wild. So for all the ones who be hating on my precious CC, understand the Caitlin Clark effect is real. The CC effect is real. My precious CC is real. You hear me? Y'all need to put some respect on her name. That's wild, huh? We only wanted to see my precious CC, not nobody else, as the temptation.
This entire situation highlights the stark contrast between resentment and real leadership. While Kelsey Plum chose to stir division with unnecessary jabs during a press conference, Sabrina Ionescu quietly showed why she's held in such high regard across the basketball community. Her support for Caitlin Clark isn't limited to one clever comment. It's part of a consistent pattern. Ionescu has openly praised Clark's game-changing influence, offered guidance during injury setbacks, and stood by her in the face of constant criticism. She grasps a key truth that others seem to overlook. When one star rises, the whole league rises with her. Ionescu understands that Clark's growing fame doesn't threaten anyone. It brings greater visibility, more lucrative sponsorships, and broader media attention that benefits every player. Her loyalty isn't just about backing a friend. It's about protecting the future of the league from those too blinded by ego to see the bigger picture.
And I'm pretty sure Kelsey Plum did reply to this. Oh, no, she didn't. Kelsey Plum did not reply. So CC definitely fired back, man. So, a lot of posts is coming from this weekend. This is another post. So here you go, Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Plum. So Kelsey Plum Kelsey Plum let it be known she's with Under Armour. Thank you to my Under Armour team for making Plumberry come to life. That is funny, bro. That is funny.
The bold "Pay Us What You Owe Us" t-shirt seemed empowering, but the timing couldn't be worse, as the WNBA nears a crucial media rights deal based not on past performance, but future potential, largely driven by Caitlin Clark's rising star power. Yet, instead of uniting behind the athlete boosting their league's value, some veterans have publicly criticized her, risking division when unity is most needed. Still, there's a twist. The drama may actually help. Sports thrive on conflict, and Clark unintentionally finds herself cast as the heroic face of the league, with critics becoming rivals in a narrative that fuels media buzz and fan engagement. Whether strategic or not, this feud is shaping the WNBA's identity. Will it embrace growth and professionalism, or let jealousy derail its momentum? Amid the noise, Clark remains poised, and alongside leaders like Sabrina Ionescu, shows that true greatness lifts everyone, not tears them down.